Hello, and thank you for coming to my channel on human design. Very happy that you're here. Okay, so I want to talk to you today about breaking free of the matrix and this incredible film. You get Neo taking the red pill, going down a tunnel of consciousness and waking up in a kind of an incubator full of kind of jelly and slime with tubes on the back of his head. I mean, what is going on? How do you deal with that kind of shock? And I want you to see that we are not born with a clean slate. Each one of us is a particular design. We are like a pattern in a larger program. I mean, that's the truth. We all see differently. We have different life forces. We have different ways of moving in the world correctly. So when we look around to how to be, we're here to find our own way, and we are given a lot of lies. We are given a lot of untruths that we try to live. We've come into a world that is basically strategically based in the mental way, goal-orientated. I mean, people running around trying to have a life, find something that is really will work for them. And yet, there are a huge number of people out there that have no fixed direction. The open Gs, for example. I mean, they're looking for direction. They're running around trying this and that, and they are lost in that. Whenever they set their own direction, it doesn't work. Even in those rare cases where it will succeed materially, it leads to an unsatisfying life. I mean, that's just what happens. So you have to understand that we are all different. On top of that, we have all the conditioning, all the open centers that I've talked about in a previous video. They are open, but they are not empty. They are full of wounds and pains and the emotional trauma that we've been through, the destructive experiences that we've had, and the things that we've been told that are not true. All these things are held there in the open centers, and we repeat them again and again. I mean, it's crazy. And if that wasn't enough, we've got the transits coming in. Wherever you've got a center with a gate on it, with a number on it, anytime a transit comes and brings a join up to that, suddenly you're being activated there. If that's in an open center, you're activated there. And it's not you. So you have to understand that there is a dilemma in waking up. With this goal-orientated programming that we've been given, people think, well, if I can think it, I can do it. And they've tried that and it doesn't work. This isn't what works. You have to come into your own life. You have to rebirth yourself. It really is like a rebirth, just as in Neo's case. And you find you might be alone in that. There are other people around you that are not aware of the different uniquenesses that are in them. It can be painful in the initial change, because you might find yourself, as I hear from a lot of my clients, that they are the only one. They don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have anyone else to share in their journey of awakening through human design. And when you do move into basically changing the habits, following, if you're a manifesting generator, for example, and you follow your response, and it doesn't make any sense to you, and it doesn't make any sense to anyone else, and people take things personally. Breaking free can be very painful. It can bring up all kinds of old fears. The main thing is that people are in such a rush to get somewhere in the future that they think is going to be good for them. This isn't the way. A better future begins when you come back to something that is non-mental. None of the authorities in human design are tied to the mind, because the mind is always talking about and in your own head and about the past. It doesn't know about what can happen. It's not a transformative agent. It gets in the way. And all the education that we get and all the things that we're told, it gets in the way. You know, we hold on to memories that are painful and reanimate them again and again and again, like a kind of a, I don't know, a nightmare scenario. You have to come in to your strategy and authority. You have to center in you living in your life. You have to be dedicated to the journey of awakening. Knowledge alone is not going to help you. It'll guide you to areas where you need to look. So in your deconditioning process, you look at the white areas. You notice them in your life. You notice the resistance when you're trying to make something happen. I mean, everyone is programmed to be a manifester. And manifestors don't particularly want to manifest. They just want to be free. With manifesting generators especially, and with those that have power and can really make changes in their life, they run around making things happen just because they can. If you're a generator, feel the resistance when you're trying to push to make something happen. If it doesn't flow with you, then it's not correct for you. I mean, I had to learn this. Luckily, I had a good role model in Ra Uru Hu. I remember I came to him from running this Mind, Body, Spirit magazine, and I was full of so many ideas, so many different topics, so many things I thought would be helpful. And I remember going up to him and saying, you know, Ra, you got to know about this, you know, and I told him something. And he just looked at me and he said, so you say. I mean, he wasn't interested. You know, his aura was one, he was a manifester, a closed and repelling aura. And he had an aspect in him that really enjoyed to be alone and to be in his own separate space. And there was I with all my pushy manifesting energy. You know, his energy was not one that invited others to start the conversation. You know, I had to learn that. You know, I learned by being with him to be quiet, to wait for the manifester to manifest. I am not an initiator except through response. And when you're around people that are working in their own process in human design, you begin to get reflected back to you how dissonant your aura is, that you're butting in or you're trying to push them this way or that. And it doesn't work. It never worked with him. It would just piss him off, quite frankly. There is this rebirthing that needs to take place when you go back to try to work according to your strategy and authority. And you're not going to do it straight away. Just because you can know the logic of it doesn't mean that you can do it. When I began my real journey, after I'd understood a certain amount of the structure of human design and what it was about and who I was, and I understood it intellectually, it was a haphazard commitment. I'm a busy, busy person, always have been, you know, but I would come back again and again. I had to be committed to my own journey. And over time, as I've watched things move in me, as I've watched my life change, I realized there are areas in us that we have to really open up. And how do you do that? Well, you have to notice it. You have to notice if there's stagnancy in your life. You have to notice if your life force is being used well. If it's being used well, you've got more energy to do more. I mean, that's what it is to be a generator or a manifesting generator. So look for the stagnancy, notice it, notice the resistance, notice when it flows, notice when you make a correct decision based on your response and how that turns out. We have to relearn what it is to be our natural selves. And getting through all the sticky stuff, like in the Matrix, getting through all the conditioning will take time. I thought, you know, I'm a clever guy, you know, it takes 7 years to get to the first level of deconditioning. I'll do it in 3. Oh, hell, I'll do it in 2. Whoa, was I wrong? What I had to watch was me busy going around doing unnecessary things, pushing against resistance, feeling the weight of that and the way that it would affect me. It's a process. It's a process, and it's a process that doesn't stop. You have to understand this isn't a goal-orientated system. You know, we're going to be enlightened. You know, this is about awakening. The gradual awakening as the layers of deconditioning fall around you. Let the conditioning go. Let it go. Give yourself time to heal from letting it go and the gap that was there that you were so used to. Let the life emerge. Let your true being come out. If you're a generator or a manifesting generator, you will find a higher level of satisfaction in what you do. You will find yourself becoming more in your life naturally. And the one thing that happens to everybody in human design, if they engage in their process, is they become more relaxed. They understand that people are different from them. The focus is on what is happening in the now. If you're an emotional person, then of course, that's 50% of us. If it's emotions, then what you feel in the now is something to be felt into over time. And feel the changing in how you feel about whatever you felt about over time to get to that clarity. It's a process. You can't go faster than you can go. Relax, relax. It takes time. There's a lot of distractions in the world. Time feels like it's running a lot faster these days. And I could go into that in another talk, because in a way it is. You've got to find yourself in there. You've got to rebirth yourself and break free of the matrix, not by bang, there I am, I'm now free, but by watching every day when certain significant things happen, when you make decisions and you see what happens, when you open yourself up to the mystery of what it is to be you. It's a mystery you're living. It's not like a problem you have to solve where there's an answer at the end of it. It's a revealing. It's a revealing through being correct. You don't know what you're going to meet in the day, and neither should you. It's a beautiful mystery. And I encourage you all to keep going with it, because it's damn well worth it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed that, then please subscribe and like and share. And I look forward to seeing you again in another video next week. Bye for now.